Hey, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. This is Wes Fryer in Charlotte, North Carolina. And in this Wisdom with Wes episode, I want to talk about election 2024 mental preparation or mental prep. And I have 4 suggestions for how we should be preparing for the elections that happen in 14 days and 2 weeks. And I want to offer this idea that the ways in which we guard our hearts and minds to the negativity, to the bad news, hopefully not to the violence, but there is violence, right? There's wars going on. We got a war in Israel and Palestine. We have a war going on in Ukraine with Russia. We hope there's not violence here in the United States. But no matter what happens, we need to maintain our hope, we need to maintain our wellness, and we need to find ways to be culture healers and not culture warriors, because there's a lot of folks that are seeking to really sow dissension, increase polarization, and if you listen to those voices too much, you just might believe those voices. So here are the ideas. Number 1, we need to find time to go outside and be in nature. Number 2, we need to find time to have quiet time and meditation time every morning to start the day. Number 3, we need to limit our consumption of news media and filter that feed of information. And number 4, we need to build community. So, try to go through these quickly. Number 1, go outside. Our world is beautiful. Find a place where you can be outside in the quiet. Look at the stars at night. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. If you have a dog, go on a walk, find a park, go somewhere on a walk, on a hike, but find time to be quiet, to be still, and to be in nature. Pay attention. I'm looking right now, the sun, I'm at school, and I'm going to be going to teach in a little bit. The sun is rising up here. I think of it as like the magic hour. It's this time where the gold of the sunshine hits the top of these trees, and we live in North Carolina now, and fall is coming, right? Autumn is coming. The trees are starting to turn. There's a restorative process, I believe, that happens when we are quiet in natural spaces. And all of what I'm talking about here can be secular, but it can also be faith-based. And when I think about my Christian faith and being a follower of Jesus, this is Jesus we're talking about. He went off by himself. He went off in natural places, and he spent time in those spaces. There's important wisdom in that. Okay, idea number 2. We need to find quiet time to meditate. And I try to do this every day, and I'm not always successful, but I've been doing this for a while. And I don't know, maybe this is going to strike people as weird or trite, but I light a candle. Actually, we have a couple electric candles, but I light a real candle, and I have a meditation I've been listening to for a long time. It's called Pray As You Go. The Jesuits of Britain have this as a free website and a free app. And there's a song, there's a Bible verse, there's an encouragement to meditate upon the words. But whatever your faith tradition might be, finding time to meditate, and I'm using that time to pray, boy, that is important, because it can center us for the day, prepare us for the day, and with intention focus our mind not on the news cycle, not on who's angry and who's done something crazy, because crazy always gets amplified in the media. If it leads, it bleeds. Okay, this isn't a new dynamic for the news. Don't leave the news channel on all day. We're going to talk about that in a second. But start with meditation. And for those of us that are followers of Jesus, start with Scripture. Start with the Bible. But find ways to not only go into, at times, natural spaces and be inspired by the beauty of our creation and our planet, which, by the way, we're responsible to care for. Find time to meditate. Okay, idea number 3. I'm going to encourage you to limit your consumption of news media, both mainstream media on television and, websites that are mainstream, talking about stuff that's on like Google News. That's a good way, by the way, to filter for a mainstream channel is go to news.google.com. You can click a little link for full coverage, and you can see, channels that are slanted towards the left, slanted towards the right, everywhere in between, but not really the extreme stuff and not the crazy stuff that somebody's doing out of their garage or their basement, or hopefully not from, Russia or China or Iran or one of our, enemies, foreign or domestic. Okay, let's not listen to those. And how do you tell? Go to news.google.com. But I'm going to encourage us, I'm trying to do this for myself, to limit my consumption. If I start the day opening up Facebook or opening up any of my social media channels or even opening up Google News, I am basically inviting negativity and pessimism and just sadness, violence, images of terrible things, terrible stories. Sadly, that is going to be in that feed. If there are folks that you follow on social media who consistently amplify polarizing, negative things that really get your emotions riled up, hide those people. You can unfollow those people. It's okay. I cut my hand, so I'm recovering from I fell this weekend and hurt myself. Look, we can hurt ourselves if we watch too much mainstream and social media, okay? The algorithms, the programs, okay, that are coded by people for social media and just in our information landscape today, those algorithms are mostly coded to maximize engagement. That means the content which is the most extreme, which might get our emotions riled up, which might upset us, those are the things we are most likely to see first in the feed. So we've got to limit our consumption of news and we've got to filter our feeds. Don't be afraid to hide content. Find the little 3 dots in your app or on your website or whatever and choose to hide, to see less of. You can choose that in Facebook now. And choose to follow voices and influencers that are more positive, that are not polarizing. If you can find culture healers and not culture warriors, I think you need to follow those. And I'm trying to do that too. Last of all, number 4, building community. At our church, which is Caldwell Presbyterian here in Uptown Charlotte, we're in the middle of our stewardship campaign, and our focus is building the beloved community brick by brick. I love this theme, okay? When I think of the beloved community, many times I'm reminded of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, and these are words from Jesus and the Bible. The idea of everybody being gifted, everybody bringing their gifts, and together building a community, being the body. Now again, this is in a faith sort of context. We talk about the body of Christ and what Paul's writing in Ephesians. But whatever your situation is, we all need community. We are wired for community. So how are you building community? Part of the reason why we need to prepare mentally is because our habits define who we are. And part of our habit needs to be regularly showing up and being in proximity to other people that see us, that love us, that accept us fully for who we are, and we can live life with. Our church, Caldwell Presbyterian, is a really important part of our community, but other parts here at school, I'm going to go hopefully get to talk to some friends today. It's very easy, and I haven't been in private schools my whole life. I've mainly been in public schools and public universities, but since 2015, I guess. I've been in, so that's almost 10 years. So I've been in private schools, 7 and 3. No, it was more than that. Anyway, it's been for a while. And maybe this can happen to anybody. You can become siloed, right? You're in your lane, you're doing your thing. As a teacher, I'm teaching my classes. I have got to choose to step out and go up to the English and History department and see some of my friends up there, even if I talk to them briefly. At lunch, I've got to seek out somebody maybe I can sit with and I can visit with. to build community. I know that we need to build community. Things are changing so quickly. There's so much happening, right? We've had all kinds of presidential candidate visits here in North Carolina because we're one of 7 swing states that are going to help determine the outcome of this election. And so let me close with this. This is some good news, okay? Irrespective of what happens in 2 weeks, and it's really not just about the election here because it's going to also be the certification of the election in January. There's a lot of time and a lot of things are going to happen, okay? Irrespective of this, I'm going to speak to you as a follower of Jesus. I believe that God is in control. I believe that Jesus is real. And I believe that when we seek him and we seek community, we seek the love of others and we find that community that builds us up, that strengthens us, and that helps us to be resilient to face whatever is going to happen. And so we got to be careful, and people abuse words like God's will. Like, there's all kinds of stuff happening in the world, okay? And be careful when you get somebody who goes, well, that's the will of God. Well, how do you know that's the will of God, okay? Maybe it is. There's a lot of stuff that's hard to understand, okay? Read the book of Job in the Bible. I have. And it's hard to understand why stuff happens. It's hard for me to understand why things have happened to me in my life. Sometimes we can look back on things and go, wow, look at how what was maybe intended for bad is used for good. But it's hard to understand this. But look, we need to prepare ourselves mentally for what lies ahead. Not just in 2 weeks, but in the future. So if you've got other ideas, let me know. You can comment on this video. You can reach out to me on social media. My name's Wes Fryer. You can find me at wesfryer.com, wesfryer.com/after. You can find different ways to connect. I am going to try myself to go outside more to natural spaces, to find this morning time to meditate, to try and limit my consumption of news media and filter my feed, and last of all, to build community. We can do these things. You can do these things. We can do these things together because we need to be healing ourselves. I'm so thankful that my body is fairly resilient to be able to heal. I cut myself I slipped and fell and I broke a mug, and I actually had a piece of glass sticking in my hand, and a friend helped me pull it out yesterday. And this is going to heal, okay? This is going to heal. Wounds in our lives can heal. We've got to be intentional about seeking that. So I hope that you have a wonderful day wherever you are in space or time. And I hope you find ways to prepare your mind not only for the election that happens in 2 weeks, but for whatever life throws at us, right? Life's going to throw a lot of stuff. And we got to be strong, we got to maintain our hope, and we got to stick together. Have a great day.